Hello everyone, uh, greetings to all of you. I welcome you all to my next class, that is a new chapter. It's an interesting chapter too. The title is Long Walk to Freedom. Even reading this title, the people we remember our long walk to our freedom, that is the great walk of our freedom fighters to get our freedom. Same way, in the similar fashion, it happened in South Africa also. And this name is quite popular, right? Nelson Mandela. So this is the name of his autobiography. Nelson Mandela's autobiography uh, is called Long Walk to Freedom. This chapter, it is an extract from the same autobiography of Nelson Mandela. And in this chapter, he greatly described the inauguration ceremony happened like when he came into power, when he became the first black president, right? Earlier the country was ruled by the white, that is the white people. More than three centuries, the South Africa was ruled by the white people. So later, after a great struggle, after a long walk, after a long struggle, the black people, they were given equal rights and freedom in the country. So that is what are described as a long walk to freedom. So before getting into the chapter, we need to know the background of it, or a general information about this South Africa and how it was ruled by the white, and what kind of problems faced by the black people, that we need to know, right? So here we begin. So as I told you earlier, South Africa was ruled by the white for more than 3 centuries, which means more than 300 years. Imagine what kind of suffering these black people they might have undergone, right? So they faced many such problems, there were no equal rights to black, and black people, they are not allowed to get into any ministerial post, and they were denied equal education rights and the other freedom. So also, not only that, even white people, they dominated the society, right? Only they were given good education, all the rights were given only to them, and they won't treat the black equally. That is the worst part of it. Just imagine you are living in a society where you are being dominated by another group of people or another community. Then what sort of feeling you may undergo? Just imagine. It's it's a terrible thing to even imagine. Like a lot of harassments, even women were brutally harassed. Many such incidents happened during this long walk to their freedom. So here is a leader of this black who led the struggle. So he created a party, that is African National Congress. So along with his supporters, right? He struggled a lot, and after a great struggle, finally the democratic election happened in the country. So he was also contested in it, and finally he became the first black president of the country. So that is what I have given here. And I forgot to tell you about this word in particular. So the pronunciation is given here, apartheid. Apartheid is the name of a political system which separates people by their race, right? I hope now you can come to the correct point, right? The political system prevailed in South Africa was the separation of people mainly by their race, that is based on their color, black and white. So as I told you, white always they enjoyed their liberal life, whereas black were denied their freedoms and their rights. They are not equally treated in the society, and the children from this black they suffered a lot, and no good education provided, and they can't get into a good job. So obviously, there were no developments, considerable developments among the black. So that itself is a great drawback for the black people. So in that country, then more than 3 centuries, actually the white people ruled, and Mandela and African National Congress, they struggled a lot. It was a lifetime fight for them. And finally, after a long battle, finally they have decided to conduct a democratic election that happened in the year 1994. So in that election, in that first democratic election, this Mandela and his party won nearly 252 seats out of 400 and formed a majority government there. So this was the background information about this chapter, and so quickly we shall begin this. So the chapter begins with a news article from BBC, right, on 10th May 1994. Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress party won 252 of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. The inauguration ceremony took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre in Pretoria today, attended by politicians, dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world. Never, never again will this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela in his address. Jubilant scenes on the streets of Pretoria followed the ceremony with blacks, whites and coloureds celebrating together. More than 1 lakh South African men, women and children of all races sang and danced with joy. So this is a news article from BBC. From this itself you can get the gist of this chapter, right? So after a long struggle he became the first black president, and like in that inauguration ceremony, nearly more than 1 lakh men, women and children from all around South Africa of various races, and not only from not only South African people, but the many politicians and the world leaders have come from other countries also to pay their respect to the great man Nelson Mandela. So here we are getting into the important ceremony, that is the inauguration. After the election is over and the result is declared, and now he is going to attend the first inauguration ceremony in which he is going to take oath as the President of South Africa. 10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. So here he describes that ceremony like the sunrise was very clear and bright, and for the past few days before the inauguration, he was closely surrounded by many of the politicians, many other leaders who have come from other countries to pay their respect for this great man before this inauguration. So they all were there with him. The inauguration, this ceremony is going to be the largest gathering ever in the soil of South Africa filled with various international leaders. The ceremony took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre. So they have created an amphitheatre which is actually without any roof, like the playgrounds, the stadiums, right, where the audience can sit in a circle with raised seats. Even the modern day stadiums were raised like that. So nearly like more than 1 lakh people can sit and watch the ceremony. In such a way, the amphitheatre was set up, and people from South Africa and from many other countries and even the world leaders have arrived there to take part in this great event in the history of South Africa. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy, and now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. So, here, for decades, for many decades, that union buildings, that is the places of the politicians, were filled only by the whites. So that is why he used the word white supremacy. Supremacy means the complete dominance of the white people. The black people were completely denied to enter into these such places. But now, today, that day, that inauguration day, the people with no discrimination, even the blacks, whites, everybody gathered there for the installation, that is for the beginning of a new era where the South Africa is very democratic, and it is going to form a non-racial government. Right? The government is going to be formed with no dominance of any race, particular race. So on that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani. So he went along there to the procession with his daughter Zinani. So first, Mr. De Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. He sworn in as, that is taking oath. This second deputy president has taken oath first, and followed by him, Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. And thirdly, here comes the turn of Nelson Mandela. So he pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote himself to the well-being of the republic and its people. So the third turn, it is Nelson Mandela's. So he went there, he has taken oath, and also he pledged that he will obey the constitution rights, and also he will uphold the constitution, and also to devote himself for the well-being of the people and the country. So to the assembled guests and the watching world, I said, here comes the address of Nelson Mandela for the entire world, and also to the audience who gathered there. So everybody was actually waiting for his address. Yeah, here goes his address. Today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. Must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. He says, like all of us, today all of us, we gathered here by our presence, we are going to confer, we are going to portray the glory and hope. We are going to express our hope to the newborn society and the newborn liberty. Out of this experience, that experience was very bitter for these people, and he mentioned this bad experience, bitter experience, as an extraordinary human disaster. That disaster itself is an event which brings out great destruction, and more than that, he stated this as human disaster. Yeah, this disaster is actually created by human, and the victims are also some other human, and it is not an ordinary human disaster, but an extraordinary human disaster that lasted, that continued too long, for some centuries. And out of that bitter experience, what happened finally? Yeah, it was a birth of a society where the humanity is feels very proud of that. So such a kind of a democratic society has born from such bitter and terrible disasters experiences. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our soil. So, for many years, because of our diplomatic uh, political system, that is this apartheid, if the country followed this political system, apartheid, and for that reason, many countries has disconnected themselves. They are not ready to make any relationship with South Africa for having such political system in the country. But now the situation has changed. Now even the other countries and the world leaders have come over here to the soil of South Africa, and it was a rare privilege for us to be the host of this ceremony. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So, here he thanked all the international guests and leaders who come from various countries to be the part of this great ceremony. He announces, he conveyed his thanks, and also he says that it is, after all, a success, a victory for justice, peace, and for human dignity. So we have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. So he said, like after a long struggle, anyway, now we have achieved, our nation has achieved political emancipation, which means the liberty, the freedom, political liberty is achieved now. Also, this is not the end, it is just a beginning. Now I pledge, that is, we pledge. Here, from his point of view, the himself and the other people, we pledge ourselves to liberate all other people. Here he makes a pledge that they are going to liberate, give freedom to all the people who are still connected to the suffering, poverty, discrimination, mainly the gender and other discriminations. So whatever the kind of discrimination it is, we have to liberate people from that, according to him. And never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. Also, he makes one more promise that this kind of dominance by one to another will never happen in this country. Here, Mandela makes this promise to the people, and the sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. So, after a long struggle, he felt it is going to be a glorious sunset that night. So, let freedom reign. God bless Africa. So, here he concludes this address on this significant, important day. These words, actually, the words used by him carries a greater significance. Like he mentioned what sort of disaster they faced and how extraordinary it was, what kind of sufferings faced by those people. Yeah, it happened, but even then this address is not a reflection of hatred, but still it carries so much of optimistic view, that attitude of bringing out a new soil, a new South African soil, where everybody must be considered equal. His intention, his pure intention is not to hate the white or not to dominate them, but to treat equally everyone. That is why he was still considered as a great man in the history. So, uh, this up to this I want to conclude because it is a long chapter. It goes on and on. So I just want to divide the entire chapter into three parts, right? So only then you may watch this and you can come to certain understanding, because it is going to be a lengthy one. So I don't want to continue this here. So I just take a break. This is going to be the end of the part 1, and this is going to be the end of part 1. So I just quickly want to recall a few more important points here. As I said, this is just a starting of a liberal South Africa, and he takes a pledge that they are going to work for the liberation of all the people from their sufferings, from poverty and from other discrimination. One thing. And also the inauguration is actually celebrated even by the white people. That is very important. So that shows the beginning of a new era in the history of South Africa. Even the white people, they did not ignore his success. Instead, they also participated in that. They also rejoiced for his victory. Right? Okay. So a few more questions. Right? One thing, he mentioned a phrase. He mentioned a phrase like an extraordinary human disaster. Right? So these words express the real suffering of that people. Don't forget, disaster, it's a destructive incident. Right? Maybe like he wanted to put all their sufferings into the single word, disaster, and it is a human disaster and an extraordinary here because it continued for many years. That is why he used such a phrase, an extraordinary human disaster. And after this success, after this that is the inauguration, this system was removed from the political system of that country, right? And so these are the important things that you need to remember. So I shall see you again in the second part of this chapter through my another video.